Hi, right, I think I'm live, so give me, if you can hear me and see me, let me know. I'm just gonna bring it up on my laptop, hopefully. Let me just refresh, because I'm on my phone to do this. Okay, so I've muted. Okay, so if anyone can let me know if they can see me and hear me, that'd be great, rather than me thinking I'm talking to myself. Okay, great. Okay, so I'll introduce myself. I'm Tina. I'm a clairvoyant medium. I work as a clairvoyant medium. I work as a spiritual coach. I take workshops. I've done circles, development, psychic development over the years. So there are a few things that I've done over the years, but to give you a little background, I have been very much spiritually aware since I was very, very young, and I actually gave my first reading to somebody when I was 10 years old. That was my mum's friends that were all into spiritual things, and they'd all gather and I'd go along with my mum, and they would all do each other's cards and things like that, and I ended up joining in one night, and what I got was correct. So that was my first reading, you might say. But you know, at the age of 10, you're not that fully involved or interested in giving readings to people on a regular basis. So it wasn't into my early 20s that I kind of got back into the full swing and started to my journey into the spiritual realm. So that's a little bit about me and my background. And today we're going to talk about the sun goddesses and the energy that they can bring you now. So I have really quite needed the sun goddess energy today. It has been so cold. I've just had so many things not go quite to plan, and that energy, I just brought the energy in just before I came in, and I was like, get yourself a nice cup of tea, and I felt the goddess energy come to me. And not that I can link beverages to the sun goddess, but I felt like a warming drink with the sun goddess there. Save off that cold that I've got coming in with that the kids have given me. So, does anybody know anything about sun goddesses? I know there's a lot about moon goddesses, but in ancient times you will find that there were quite a few sun goddesses, and some cultures actually look at the sun goddesses now and see that the sun is feminine. And then there is some goddesses that are both the sun and the moon. So you would look and they connect to both. But as some cultures like Irish, Lithuanian, there is some Aborigine, Egyptian, off the top of my head, quite big goddesses there. But as Christianity, there's lots of sun gods, but what happened is the narrative changed. So when Christianity started to come in, or maybe nothing against the male, but maybe the male dominant came in, they started to swap out the sun goddesses, and a lot of often sun goddesses were feminine changed to the male. So you can read about where they come from, their background, and the fact that they did get changed, or the narrative got changed to the sun goddesses being the sun gods instead. But there are some really big sun goddesses, especially in Egyptian cultures, some Irish cultures as well, but they are overlooked as sun goddesses a lot of the time, and a lot of theirs can be to brought different meanings to them, and the sun goddesses aren't, you know, celebrated. So what do you think of when you think of the sun energy? So the sun god energy, what would you think a feminine sun would bring you? Is there any words that would consider a sun goddess would bring? Right, you know, I mean, you can say, so when you think of the moon goddess, you can instantly think of maybe some words for there, but what do we think of when we think of the sun goddess? So what kind of energy she might bring to you if you were to connect to her? So I've got my notes right next to me because I'm still on baby brain. My baby is 7 months old, and that's the excuse I'm sticking with. So I wrote down lots of lots of notes, the old-fashioned way. So the words are, so you would think a sun goddess may be fierce, energetic, optimistic. A lot of the times it's connected to fertility, because you think of the sun is a growth energy, so the sun is there to fertilize and help grow seedlings and you know, everything to grow. So the same goes for a person. The fertility is an image of growth, and that energy, high energy with the sun goddess. So another word might be, and this might feel like masculine, but actually the feminine can also be ambitious. So the sun can make you feel like you want to get going. So ambition comes in with the sun as well. Any other words anybody can come up with the sun goddess? So there are also different energies when it comes to the sun too, with the sun goddesses. So we have sunrise, midday sun, and sunset. So they might give you different feelings as well. So, you know, when you want to work with different goddesses, you might work with the sunrise, midday sun, and the sunset, depending on which one you go for. But I'm going to work through some of the sun goddesses here just to give you an inkling of, you know, who you can work with. And then I will give you the 5 ways to work with the transformation energy in this time of, now I know some of you are not all going to be in the northern hemisphere, you're in the southern, so you're going to be right in the sun energy. But we are going to, you can delve deeper into the sun energy. So there is Nordic goddesses, there is Sunna or Soul. She is a symbol of travel. She is a goddess that is on a chariot who charges across the sun and is actually chased by a wolf. So her symbols are horses, so the horse pulls the chariot, and it's this eternal story of her championing the way forward, always one step ahead of this wolf, and that she is going to be at some point a rebirthed. So even if the wolf does finally catch her, which would be Ragnarok, if I'm saying that right, she is rebirthed. Okay, but she is a goddess of travel. She is god of safe travels. She's a goddess of cycles and movement and healing and blessings, because she has this so much energy to keep going while this wolf keeps chasing her. That's her story, Sunna. She goes across the sky, and the wolf in different stories is named different things, but we've got Fenrir, and I think there's another one beginning with an L that I came across as well. But when he gets so close to her, that's when you see an eclipse. So the Wolf's got just in a biting distance of her, and then we get an eclipse. She is a goddess of balance, and working and resting. So obviously she's being chased, and then the eclipse, and she is a guidance of resting when you need to rest, and using your time wisely, and knowing when to play and when to rest is important too. So I will go quickly through. A lot of them have this just a feeling about them, but she is a goddess of determination. So we have Anya, who is an Irish goddess. Hi, Marissa. I didn't say hi to Christina, so I was hi. So Anya is an Irish goddess, but she's the goddess of moon and the sun. And she is also known as a fairy queen, and that came in around the time of Christianity as well. They swapped her around, and she's kind of the fae. So she is a goddess where you will often see flame in imagery around her. And she is a goddess of the sun because she was born of the sun. And the story goes that when she was born, the whole room lit up as if the sun was in the room. So her flame is from the sun. She is powered. So she is full of power, but she's also a goddess centered around winter too. So she is warming and reflective. Now I am listening to my spirit guides as well, because they are adding words that I haven't got down. But she is also another goddess of childbirth, but she is a goddess of creativity and abundance and prosperity and passion. She's also a goddess of sex and sensuality, to know your inner self, to get to know your inner self and be true to who you are. She is a goddess of equal love. So what I've got down there often, I've got that she is related to the magician, so manifestation. So I'll come back to a couple of things that I've wrote, because you can have offerings to each goddess. So what I would say is that's part of later on. So she is the goddess of, she's also a goddess of pain and joy, I would, and having a look at what you're doing, and maybe in the shadow work. So if you're doing shadow work in this time where we are in the winter, in the northern atmosphere, Anya would be a good goddess to bring that flame and that passion and work with the shadow, work with respecting and understanding what you want to achieve and where you want to go with her. So you could work with Anya in your shadow work too. So she's a goddess, yeah, I've said she's a goddess of water and air, so she's got quite a lot of, there's a lot going on with Anya. So I'm briefly going through some goddesses, just to give you an understanding before I get to, I'm only going to go through another two, and then we're going to go through a few other things. So we have, and now you can correct me on the pronunciation, but we have Bast or Basset, which is a Egyptian goddess. She is the Egyptian goddess, and you often see her with cat, or again in the storyline, she was the goddess with lions. So she was actually feminized and brought down in a softer. So she was then, the cat was placed on her, the normal cat rather than the lion, to stop giving her such a fierce appearance and give her the cat instead. So that is something also that happened through the generations as well. So if you could be two ways with her, so she could be the kitten, the cat and the lion. So I would say she is definitely like the cat, so she might be a bit more one of the difficult goddesses to work with. She really has to want to work with you if you want to connect to her. You really do have to connect to her, know her, do your research, have your that goes for any of them that you want to connect to. Do your research, have an understanding of them. They appreciate the fact that you've took the time to understand them and get to know them, and their backgrounds and their stories. There's another goddess that I was having a look at, and I've always associated her with quite magical energy, but I am terribly sorry, but I can't half the time pronounce half the names, and I'll think it's Rhiannon. She's often associated with magic, but she's got quite a tragic backstory, in that she had arranged marriages and got out of the arranged marriages and abuse, and there's a lot going on with her that maybe even here that we could understand and connect with. Yeah, she's the Basset. I haven't wrote too much about her, but she does like it if you like cats. So all your obviously, I would say more fierce energy here with Basque. So let's have a look where I am. Yeah, I've wrote down the original image of her was with a lion's head rather than a cat's head. She is a goddess that fertilizes and is the force of the sun rays. So often you'll see there's another goddess, a Sagmet is also a sun goddess, and there's another Egyptian goddess as well. Let me see, I have some of them up on my thing to let me remind me, but there's another, Bath, Sagmet. If you didn't know, Medusa is also a sun goddess. The snake with the snakes, Medusa, she's also a sun goddess. She is a goddess of power with the sun. So you can look at that. Sagmet, yeah. Probably not going to find it. But yeah, so there's quite a few Egyptian with the symbol. If you know the one where she's got the sun symbol on her head. Let's have a look. So I will say a lot of the goddesses connect to music. So they will, if you look at them, they'll have an instrument like a drum or something else with them too. So I will say that Basset magic is about overcoming trauma. She's a goddess of joy. She's also another sensual goddess. She has sensual energy. She has protection of the household too. She's a goddess of celebrating self-love. Think of the cat. She's a goddess that can step between the worlds, just like the cat. So when you think of her, think of the cat. But if you want to connect to Bath, then yeah, cat energy. Yeah, she is a really, really powerful goddess. But you really need to know your business when you get to know her. Think of the cat when you think of her and what you need to do with cats. You know, she's also a goddess of dreams, intuition, and meditation. So yeah, she's definitely a high vibe goddess, high vibe. Goddess of attitude. So the other one that is a personal favourite of mine, and people might not actually necessarily think of her as a sun goddess, but I do, is Aurora. Now she is the goddess of the dawn, which is a breaking of the sun into the light. So she's a sister to the moon goddess, Luna. So she is sunrise, daybreak. Again, she is shown to be on a chariot, and I will say some of the sun gods also will be shown on a chariot too. So if you think of the chariot as we're chasing forward, we're moving forward quite fastly. Often you will see Aurora with purple stars around her, and the light reflecting off the sky before the sun actually rises, so she has that effect. But I do like Aurora. She's one of my favourites. She is about new beginnings and opportunities, and yes, Marissa, I really like her. So there is quite a tragic story of Aurora, in that she has quite a tragic love story that was inspired Shakespeare to write his poems or his things about her. But it's that she fell in love with a mortal. She begged the gods to change him into a god, and they did so. But she forgot the detail of that, and he had eternal life and stayed as a god, but he grew old. He didn't have eternal youth. So he grew old, and in her sorrow, she changed him into, I think, she changed him into some sort of flower. Now the thing's gone out of my head, so if you do know the story, you can inform it. But she changes him into, I think it's into a flower. But it's that story. It also, I'm going off on that, but it also reminds me of manifestation, in that or working with that energy of the gods and goddess to work with the detail. When you work manifestation, sometimes you can forget some of the detail. So that is one of the big stories, isn't it? She forgot to ask for eternal youth as well as being made a god. So sun goddess energy is high energy, it's uplifting. I will suggest some other things around it before I go into anything else. So some crystals would be citrine, amber, sunstone when you're working. So I will go on to the ways that you can work with the goddesses. So to bring some high energy, some transformation energies. So the first one would be music. Like I said, most of the goddesses or gods or whatever you think will have an association with music. And you can also find high vibes, or connecting to each goddess type of music. Or I think there was one meditation that I saw where you would listen to drum music, and then you would connect to the goddess, and you would just go into a deep feeling of rhythm with yourself, with the music, and allow the music to take over, asking for the goddess to come close to you and work with you for your transformational, uplifting energy, or whatever story you want to go with, or whatever that you need to come in. Music is fundamental to most goddesses and gods, I will say. Let's have a look. Let's see if I've got anything else in my notes, because I do know that I read a lot of them had, when I was looking, a lot of them have some sort of instruments with them, drums, I think it's flutes, or other things like that. So do look up, when you are doing your research on a goddess, do look up if they have a specific musical instrument that goes with them. So your free gift that I am giving you, that you can download, is a digital oracle deck which I have created. It is a combination of moon and sun goddesses, so them you might get some ideas on who you connect to. Yep, let me have a look. Yep, haven't got anything specific that I wrote down, but it's when I was reading I realised that a lot of them do connect to an instrument specifically. So music is important to connection, and music's also important to us to bring the vibes. So music affects every part of your body, mind, body and soul. It affects it. So you all know that if you put on Sad music, you will feel it. If you put on high energy, happy music, you will feel it. So it's how you're feeling. Maybe if you're doing shadow work with the goddess Anya, you may go into how you feel about that, and may transform, and she'll help you transform that energy and bring it out of you. And as you do your work with her and put on the music that is related to where you're at mentally, and you work through it and change the music as you work through your energy, through your shadow work, and come out into the flame. And with Anya, Anya is the goddess of the flame, which connects to the sun in the fact that she is born of the sun, but she's about passion. She's also about poetry and music and all those things. There's another goddess that's the sun goddess called Bridget. She's also another goddess, Irish goddess of the flame, and she's also a worksmith, so she does metal work if you look at her. So she's a goddess of working and balance of poetry, because she's also a goddess of poetry as well. So there's that combination. Thank you, Renee. I am sorry if I'm missing anybody's comments that I'm not seeing. Thank you. Although this top is slightly annoying, I didn't realise that they connect to each other and you end up getting stuck. But yeah, it's very sparkly, thank you. I am a bit of a magpie when it comes to sparkles. And the sun goddess, as I speak, sometimes my spirit guides give it to me, or I'll feel the energy as I'm working with whatever energy I'm working with. So for instance, before I started this, I was like, I need to have a minute, and I felt the goddess energy come into me, and I felt a warm drink would do you well. And I kind of chose, yes, it's Christmas as well, but I started off with a top over this. I thought, no, let's celebrate and be all sparkly with the sun goddess. So I will go on to the number 2, which can relate to number 1, which is dancing. So dancing is uplifting, is transformational, it uplifts your body wherever you are. And the sun goddess is a goddess. A lot of the goddesses are about movement and transformation and growth and high energy and being energetic. Now, obviously, for some, that's not possible, but for others it is. So, I mean, you can literally just move your body, can't you? I'm just sat down. You can just move your body. You don't need to get up and do, but if you can, yeah, you do. So you're bringing that energy in. You're bringing the sun energy into your body, into the solar plexus, and letting it go in, down into the roots, the bottom of your feet, into the ground, and then transforming back up, out through all the chakras there. And the sun energy, bringing it in, and you're asking the goddess to connect to you through music, through dancing, and let it light you up. So it doesn't matter what types. You can even just move your hands if that's the thing, or you can do a full body dance. What it is dancing is a way to transform your energy, to uplift your energy, to invite a goddess of the sun in and allow you to invite it. And again, I'm reminded by Spirit that at different times in the day, or different music or different dance will invoke something different with where you're at. Maybe when you get up, it's a slower move, it's a gentle move, it's invoking that gentle energy to start your day, new beginnings. Maybe the midday, it's a transformation, keep going, uplifting. Maybe the sunset, it is about transformational thank you and gratitude. Because if you work with any goddess energy or god, gratitude is an absolute fundamental. You have to show gratitude. And I'm going to say that you can show gratitude by simply saying thank you very much for being with me. You can do offerings too, which I'll go on to in a minute, because the next one is altars. So you can create an altar to your goddess, sun goddess, and here on your altar you then can do your offerings. So you would often create your altars with gold and yellow, oranges, that type of thing. Try and using those types of candles and the crystals, which are the citrine, amber and sunstone. You can use an image of the goddess that you're attracted, that you're drawn to. But there is, if you were to work with Bridget, then she is often seen in green and gold, so you could use green and gold. So connecting to your altars as well. So I have written down, so we've got dancing, and it's good for the mental health. So you can use candles, you can use statues, you can offer perfume. If you were to work with baths, you can use catnip. You can use tea, wine, beer, chamomile, essential oils. You can use frankincense and myrrh, jasmine and lavender, and that specifically goes for bask, I have to say, and the catnip. But you are going to connect to the goddess and see what works with it, but catnip would be almost certainly go for bask. If you didn't have a cat, for instance, but you wanted to work with her, you could give to a cat charity, for instance. You could give a little money to a cat charity, and then that would seek favour with this goddess. Yep, let's have a look. So we definitely, creating an altar to invoke your goddess is there. So let me have a look what we've got associated with Anya. So again, it's one of them is mead. I know his mead. I'm thinking it's Anya who's mead. Yeah, offerings. Oh, there you go. I have wrote it down. Offerings is harp music, so you can use harp music with Anya. Use honey, corn or grain, lavender, and because she's a fertility goddess, I've wrote down for those ladies that want to go that far or don't mind it, there's menstrual blood as well that you could use as an offering. So with her, sometimes a lot of the goddesses can be associated with animals as well, so you can use their animals. So for instance, Anya is horses, swans and rabbits for Anya, and then obviously Bask is cats. What have I got else? See if I've wrote anything else about. So clothing as well. If you can, if you want to wear the clothing that would be associated to your goddess as well. I mean, I know that we can all feel a lot brighter if we like today, nice and sparkly. You can wear golds and yellows, that type of thing to invoke the goddess and bring up a feeling of transformation and feeling like, high energy. If you suffer with where it's dark, it's gloomy and we're in the winter, to invite the sun goddess in and, transform. Hi, Pamela. Oh yeah, catnip. I've not got any of that. Yeah, I'd have to have a look at that. So as I was saying, wearing the clothes, uplifting. You know that yellow is for it's creativity, it's courage, it's very uplifting, isn't it? Orange, again, creativity, connection to the inner self. Oranges, it's like being true to yourself with orange. Sparkles, for Christmas, there's the energy, so we're bringing in the energy with clothing too. Now the third is spells and rituals. So you can create a spell or ritual towards your sun goddess. So now I have read a really good book that's got lots and lots of spells dedicated to lots of different sun goddesses. I'll bring it up to you, what it's called. So, drawing down the sun, reclaiming the magic of the solar goddess. It has so many spells in there, but there's one where it's you have a candle, you place little mirrors around the candle, and then you evoke the goddess into the light of the energy, and allowing that goddess energy to come out of the mirrors and reflect out so that you absorb the energy of the sun. I'm just having a look to see if I can quietly see that was not the goddess. There's loads of goddesses in here, and I'd got it to the point where it was, and it wants to play with me. Yeah, just wants to play with me. But you can create rituals with essential oils. I'm hearing the word bath then. So maybe bathing and creating a ritual before you create your spell, get yourself into the high vibes of it all. I'm just asking my spirit guides there, but I am seeing that, you know, where you put flowers, maybe they don't have to be real, but you can use real, or just uplifting those yellow flowers, the sunflower. I'm trying to see if I can get to a goddess that there was the Americas. So you do have some Native American, sorry. So there is some Native American sun goddesses as well. I think it's Shapish or Shapishi. So she's like a goddess that you can work, again, where it comes from the dark into the light, helping you light everything up. So in that you would hold up a candle and you would write down what you need to release, what you want to get rid of, what's no longer yours, and burn it through the candle as you invoke the goddess to help you release this energy. So it can be as simple as asking the goddess to come to you, thanking them to come to you, creating that altar space, that sacred space, writing down what's no longer yours, you want to release it out to the energy, lighting your candle and lighting it and lifting it off. There's also a 7-day ritual that you can do, where you would light your candle for a few minutes a day, and you would just, you know, bring that energy in, what you want to release, and you would also give thanks for that energy, that they're helping you release this energy over the next 7 days. So there is lots and lots of obviously it wants me to look at different goddesses because I left it on a particular goddess for you, and it's, oh yeah, well, we've got the lioness goddess, which is Basque. So stones is cat's eye, obsidian and jasper green with her. You can use myrrh, sandalwood, rose petals, lioness, domestic cat, eyes, the sun disc, there's a whole thing there about, you know, calling her in. So it's a good book, but I wanted to show that you can use spells and rituals to help you bring in that energy and create a really nice energy and a release as well, because whatever is not serving you at this time, you need to release, and a lot of the sun goddesses will help you with that energy and light you up for 2023. So it might be a great time to work the Sun Goddess and re-invoke that energy, that passion, that high energy as you move into the next year. So the fifth one, have I done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Yeah, it's meditation. So again, look at which goddess you're drawn to, and you would connect to her through some meditation. And I would say, so if you were to connect with the goddess Bridget, then you would close your eyes, take a deep breath, ask for that protection to wholly surround you with the white light or green light, with it being Bridget. And you would envision her wherever you want. So let's say that she's inside of her workshop. She's creating something very beautiful in her fire cove, or whatever it's called, the little thing with the fire. And she's hammering away and she's creating something so very beautiful. And she turns to look at you. And she wants you. She has a message for you, maybe. She has some energy to give over to you. She has a message for you. So in the meditation, you would connect to her and see what anything that invokes around you. Maybe something can be colours, it can be images, it can be a feeling. And as you walk through her, and she has words, maybe words of wisdom to give you. And you know, if you're great at visualization, great. If you're not, then you have to do some maybe simple terms. But I'm sure finding meditations or guided meditations on YouTube or something like that is really good. But I would say, let's say you want to invoke the goddess Sunna. So this goddess is a powerful goddess of transformation, determination. She keeps going. So you see her in a beautiful gold chariot with 2 horses pulling her, and they are speeding forward with such energy. And you stand next to her as she stands. You may glance behind you and see this wolf, this energy that's behind her, but she is lit up in golds and whites, and you can see that her hair is flowing behind her. And what wisdom does she give you? What does she say to you? What does she want to give you? Does she want to give you something of growth and opportunity? Does she say you need to slow down, speed up? So meditation can bring you very much closer to your energy and what you want to release, or what you want going forward in the next few weeks to come, in uplifting your energy too. The Sun Goddesses bring high energy. So they often are fiery, they are often determined and strong, perhaps even a little bit of a stubborn energy with the Sun Goddess. But they have drive and determination about them. That's where the sun comes in. So I would say that, let me have a look. But it's those energies where we are invoking them. So I would say those were the 5 energies that I had. So does any of them sing to any of you? Which ones would you go for, or would you maybe try all of them? So for instance, Basset, you could use in dreams and intuition and meditation. She steps between the worlds. So, you know, it's bringing into yourself into the spirit realm as you do a meditation with her. I would say even in the winter sun, I know there's not the heat in it, but it's still, the other day it was so beautiful, it was so cold. I mean, in the UK we're having a bit of a cold snap. It's like in the day below 0, 2 below 0. So it's freezing. But the sun was out, and it was everything was white, but the sun just had this beautiful glow and everything kind of glistened. So it's like, as I'm doing my research and as I'm connecting to the Sun Goddess, and you know, you find the sun where you can. So allowing that sun to bathe you, even if it's the winter sun. Now, for those of you that you're in the summer hemisphere, you can maybe do a little more. You can do the full out sunbathing. You know, you can draw in the energy through that way as well as you invoke them. But for those in the northern hemisphere, it's about the glow of the fire, and it's the glow of the clothes you wear, what you surround yourself with, the rituals, the spells, the meditation, the music, the dancing. Okay. Anya, yeah, I do like Anya. Yeah, as I was doing my research, I kind of just tended to go to ones that kind of like drew me in. So I liked Aurora. I like the energy of Bass because I do love cats, and she's got that attitude. So she's got a lot of attitude about her. And I found that really fun. And if you can really work with her, she's got high vibes. So Bass there is a great one to work with if you want to use her for transformational energy. She's certainly going to give you a kick if you work with her. She's really, really powerful in that. Think of her as like Callie. She really is that energy of she's proper full on, whereas Aurora is feels more like more of a sensitive. Not that Bass isn't sensitive, but if you start to connect to the energies, there is a very different energy between them. Bridget is home and family and work. Anya is opportunity and growth and determination and connecting to yourself. So I'm still going on here and on and on. I hope you've enjoyed what I've had to say. I'm going to see if I can put in the comments my free gift. Let me see if it's going to do it. Open. It's the first time I've ever created something and done this where it's a free gift. So hopefully it all goes well and you enjoy your oracle decks that I've created. So the oracle deck is created of different sun goddesses and some moon goddesses too, because I wanted to mix the two in. So they are. I also have lots of oracle decks on my website and my Etsy too. And I also create physical decks as well that I have drawn myself. I don't think I'm not sure if I've got them on the website or not. Still going to go with baby brain here. But they're on my Etsy too. I've got some goddess readings on there. There's lots of different variety of readings that I do on there. So if anybody's interested in that too, but do enjoy the download that I've done. Do enjoy the cards that I've created. I hope that you do. Thank you for popping in. Anybody that said messages. If I've missed anyone, I'm really sorry. I'm thanking you. So grateful for you being here and saying hello. And that is it for me tonight. I hope that you have a great from the 12th to the 16th this whole week with everybody's talks. Everybody's fabulous. And come back and watch everybody's videos or watch the replays. If you're watching my replay, hi. And that will be me for this evening as I go and check on the baby now and hope he's still asleep. And I shall leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. Okay, bye.